Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a Q&A so that you can get to know me a little bit better. I tend to film these yearly and somehow it always ends up being in July. So I ask questions on all my social media platforms and I'm just gonna run through them all. There's some great questions in here. And the community tab, especially on YouTube, I feel like people asked like multiple questions, which is great. So the first few are from Morgie39. She says, what are your favorite genres of music? And I don't know, I'm not with it anymore, so I don't really know styles of music, but I do really like what they used to call heavy alternative or new metal. Those are definitely my favorite. I have transitioned more into techno music, although I could not tell you any sub-specific genre of techno that I like. I just know which beats I sort of enjoy. So I listen to a lot of techno stuff as well. She also asked, what is your favorite season and why? I feel like I like winter the most because I love snow so much, but it is a little bit hard to do things in the snow versus when there's no snow. So I guess fall would be my favorite, although like towards the end of fall when snow starts to fall. I really do not enjoy the heat, and I brought this up quite a few times recently on Instagram stories, but I would much prefer the winter and full snow versus what the summer has to offer. I don't handle the heat very well. I don't enjoy it. I hate sweating. I'm just so uncomfortable in the summertime. Anything over 21 degrees Celsius is too hot as far as I'm concerned. So definitely the fall and winter times is my favorite seasons. You like to travel, but are there any provinces/territories in Canada that you haven't visited? Actually quite a bit. So I have not been further west in Canada than Ontario, which is really sad because there's so much to explore in this massive country. I just haven't gotten out there. I've done everything on the East Coast, including PEI and stuff like that. I haven't been out west in Canada at all, which is really sad. And their last question is, if you could only wear one color eyeshadow, including shade variations, for the rest of your life, what would it be? Probably varying shades of red. The only part that I struggle with in that respect is that pale red is pink, and I don't like wearing pink really, but I can do pretty well off of like red eyeshadow, so I'd probably just pick red eyeshadow for the rest of my life. Edie Loves Makeup, which I believe your actual name is Heather, please correct me if I'm wrong, asks, do you like to read? If so, which books are your favorite? I do like to read, and in fact this year I've made more of an effort to make sure that I'm reading more often. I feel like with the dawn of social media and YouTube, I just don't read nearly as much as I used to. I used to consume a thick book, like 400 or 500 pages every 4 days, a week at a push. Like I was gobbling down books left, right, and center throughout my 20s, but I didn't feel I was reaching for books as much recently, and I was like, I need to change this. I've got a backlog of like 20 books sitting on my bookshelf that I've purchased but just haven't gotten through, so I've been making more of an effort to make sure that I'm reading. My favorite type of book though, I would just say general fiction. I do read historical fiction every now and then, and I enjoy that. I have read a lot of science fiction in the past. I used to read all of the Star Wars extended universe books. I have all of those still in my library, so to speak. I just generally like most fiction. Elise says, you are so involved with Pride every year and seem to be a strong ally. I would like to know what got you into celebrating Pride in the first place. So I'm not an ally. I am part of the community because I am bisexual. And this is something that I have brought up. I know I mentioned it in a Q&A last year, I think it was, and I've mentioned it a few times on Instagram stories, but it's one of those things that I feel weird constantly repeating because at a certain point you just assume that everybody knows this about you. So I'm celebrating Pride because I'm the B in the LGBTQ plus community. And although I married a man and I'm happy in my marriage, I am still a bisexual person. So I want to support my community, and that's why I celebrate Pride every year. She also said, I would like to hear more about your gym routine and how you keep up your motivation. So unfortunately, I don't really have a good answer for this one anymore because I don't need motivation anymore to go to the gym. maybe like 5 or 6 years ago when I was first making my routine, that's when I needed to find motivation. But now it's so a part of my routine that I just schedule what I'm doing for the week. I put it in my Google Calendar, and if it says that I'm going to the gym on that day or going for a run, I just go and do it. In the same way that I eat breakfast every day, I'm also ensuring that I'm going to the gym or running every day or some form of physical activity. So I don't really have to seek external sources for motivation because it all kind of comes from within myself. But it's taken me a very long time to get to that point. Like 10 years ago, I would have said that it was such a struggle. And I think what helped me at the time was just looking up, honestly, like slogans and memes online about going to the gym or like motivational quotes. That stuff just really rung true for me, and I can't even remember what any of them said now. Oh wait, yes I can. There was one I think that said, do today what you promised yourself yesterday you do today. Just stuff like that to sort of get you going and realize that a lot of reasons for not going to the gym are just excuses to be lazy. And I'm not pointing fingers at anybody for this other than myself, because that's how I avoided going to the gym or going out for a run before. I would just come up with some excuse to be lazy. And they were terrible excuses, but they worked to keep me out of the gym. And at a certain age, you just have enough. And I think it was around 28, 30 years old, that's when I was like, this is ridiculous. You want to be a relatively healthy person, you want to be fit and strong, you want to be able to run, you want to be able to lift things. You just need to start working out. So this isn't a great answer, I realize, but I don't have to find motivation anywhere now because it's just a part of my routine. And that is the best part. When you can finally get to that point where it's just a habit to go to the gym, it's no longer a struggle. So I would just say keep pushing yourself to go, and then eventually it will just become a part of yourself and your routine. Oh, she also said, do you watch Schitt's Creek? I love that show and I think they film near Toronto. No, I've never actually watched it, but my friends keep talking about it and they think I might like it, so I might start watching it soon. The next few ones are from Tanya, or is it Tanja? Please correct me. They say, why don't you do vlogs? So this one actually kind of confused me a little bit because I do vlog, but it tends to be if I'm going on vacation or if it's an event like ebates. I'm a makeup channel primarily, and daily vlogs, honestly, I don't think I'd be that interesting, really. I have a job that I work 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, so I can't film at the office because that would be very awkward. And then after work, I go to the gym between roughly 4:30 till 6. And you can't really film at the gym either, so that's a little bit awkward. And then I come home, I eat dinner, and then I'm either filming a video, editing a video, or working on my blog in some capacity. Or I'm sitting down on my butt watching Netflix and playing video games. That is such a routine for me that honestly, if I vlogged, I'd show you one day, they'd look identical to every other day. So I'm prevented in the sense that I can't film a lot of the time. I can't film at work, I can't film at the gym, and honestly my husband doesn't love to be on camera, so that kind of prevents me filming at home. And the other side of it too is I'm so routine based that I think you'd be bored after even just one day at home with me. So I tend to vlog vacations because that's a memory that I want to keep for myself. They don't tend to be very well watched, so I don't think people are on my channel for vlogs, but the vacation stuff is more for me. And then the ebates stuff, I used to vlog about that because that was interesting, but ebates has really cooled down over the years, so I might be, you know, killing the ebates vlogs. They also ask, who is your #1 YouTuber? And right now I think it's Samantha Rovendal. I find her personality so appealing. She is hysterical and she will talk about anything. And I also love how she constantly swears in her videos. I swear fluently in real life, but I try to cap it on video because I know that people are watching it sometimes with their kids, and I don't want to be the person who is teaching your kids swear words, although out in public I'm not great. My husband sometimes is like, could you not swear around the 8-year-old kids? And I'm like, whoops, sorry. So anyway, back on track. Samantha Rovendal is definitely my favorite YouTuber right now. They also asked, do you believe in big YouTubers' recommendations? Yes and no. I mean, I pick and choose who I want to watch, and I either watch them because I think that they're interesting, or I watch them because I trust their sense of self and their recommendations. Now, I don't necessarily watch everybody and trust them. For example, I think Jaclyn Hill is fun to watch, but I do not know what is going on behind the scenes there, and I am very concerned about this woman's work ethic. So I don't necessarily trust her recommendations, although I think she's fun to watch. So I don't know, it's a bit of yes and no. Some people I trust absolutely, but I also take everything with a grain of salt too. There's a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. There's money that gets exchanged and then trips and stuff like that. So yes, sometimes I trust the recommendations and sometimes I just completely discard them. Often because I'm just not even interested in the brand. And that's the main thing for me, is if I'm not interested in the brand that they're trying to promote, it really doesn't matter if they're recommending it to me or not. I will probably just discard the opinion because it's not a brand I'm interested in. And their last question is, what brands would you love to try but haven't had the opportunity to? I think I really want to try Natasha Denona eyeshadows, just because people seem to rave on and on about them, but that price point is stopping me. Thankfully, recently she's reduced the price on some of her palettes and I could see myself buying one of the smaller ones, but I'm still not at that point yet. Susie asks, how many days per week do you do colorful eye looks and how long do they take you? So I think I wear makeup probably 6 days a week. We'll go with that. And I probably only do neutral eyeshadow looks once a week. Maybe twice at a push if I know I have a meeting at work where I want to look less like I'm wearing rainbows all over my eyes. But more often than not, if you meet me, I am wearing very bright, vivid, colorful eyeshadow looks. And they take me, I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, I start doing my makeup in the morning for work at roughly 7:15 and then I leave for work at 8 o'clock. But I'm also eating my breakfast while doing my makeup and then brushing my teeth and all that. So 45 minutes for the whole face. The eyes might only take 20 or 30 minutes. That sounds like a lot now that I say it out loud. Maybe it's less than that, but I definitely spend the most amount of times on my eyes. And their last question is, how old were you when you started wearing makeup? And the story I always tell is that I got into makeup when I was 12 years old because my aunt took me to the MAC counter. And that's true, but if I think back, I was actually wearing makeup before that because I used to do jazz dance, and for recitals, they would put makeup on us. My mom was putting makeup on me. So I mean, I probably had makeup on my face at 8 years old. I don't really remember how old I was when I was doing jazz. But we'll say I started wearing makeup at 8 years old, but I didn't really get into makeup until I was 12. Okay, so that was it for the community tab on YouTube. I'm gonna move over to Instagram now and Twitter. First one here is, what's your favorite food? Oh, I did not save the usernames with these. Ugh, that's annoying. Okay, what's your favorite food? That's hard. Really love hummus. Honestly, if I think about it, any kind of food that is Mediterranean or Lebanese would probably be my favorite. I can't pick something just off the top of my head. Hummus is the closest I'm getting. And what's your favorite kind of night out? Ooh, I like doing a lot of things. I think my favorite is just like pre-drinking at home with friends because it's cheaper, and then probably just like either going out to a bar or a club later on. I love to go see the drag queens in Toronto, although recently, man, Cruise and Tango is so packed with people that it's really uncomfortable going there Friday or Saturday nights because you're like sardines in a can, you're just squashed all together. Yeah, I think going to a drag club is probably my favorite thing to do. The next one is, what were your favorite toys growing up? I know I definitely had a lot of My Little Pony and Rainbow Bright. I also had a strawberry shortcake, but I think Rainbow Bright was my favorite, and Starlight the horse. I actually recently started rewatching the original cartoon series of Rainbow Bright, which I didn't realize was only 13 episodes and one movie. I feel like I was so obsessed with Rainbow Bright that there must have been seasons and seasons of it, but no, there was really only that one short season. The next question is, what is your favorite Bath & Body Works fall candle? Leaves, hands down. I first saw Elle Fowler, All That Glitters 21, years ago talking about the Leaves candle at Bath & Body Works on her YouTube channel, and I was like, okay, I'm interested, let me smell it. And I was obsessed. It's the only candle I buy for the winter months now. So basically, well, the colder months anyway. September through March or April, I'm burning a leaves candle in my apartment. I think I buy I get enough to burn one a month for those months, and it just fills the house. I love the scent of it. My husband's obsessed with the scent of it too. That's my favorite scent that Bath & Body Works makes. The next one asks, do you think you will always live in Toronto? So I'm originally from Ottawa, and I would consider moving back to Ottawa, but I don't think my husband's that keen on it because it puts us further from his parents. Now, his family's in Wisconsin, and it's a heck of a drive to get out there. It's like 12 hours, I think, because we have to go around the Great Lakes. So if we moved to Ottawa, that would make us an additional 4 or 5 hours from them. So I understand why he would not want to move to Ottawa. That being said, I don't have any plans to leave Toronto because I really like it here. I think it's a great city. There's so much to do, and I think if I moved to a city that was smaller at this point, I would just feel like I was missing things to do. Like there just wouldn't be as many things accessible to me. There's just a lot of things that Toronto has to offer that cities that are not this size wouldn't have. So I have no intention of moving anywhere because I do really like it here, but Ottawa I think would be the place that I would move back to. This next one's from Amy, and on Twitter, from Amy Loves Makeup. She has a YouTube channel. She's so sweet. She's lovely to watch. I will link her down below. She asks, what's your favorite blog post you've ever done? And when I first saw this question, I was like, how the heck am I gonna pick? Because a lot of the posts tend to be about product reviews, and they're not necessarily something that's my favorite. I don't know, it's just hard to pinpoint a favorite review, if you know what I mean. But if I think back to pictures that I'm the most happy with, it would be the ones in the ABH Glow Kit for Nicole Guerrero. I love the look of my face in those photos so much. It was showcasing the 6 highlighters in that palette. So my face is like from the side, you get a streak of the highlighter, which looked beautiful. I love that palette, by the way. But everything about how those pictures came out just made me super happy. I liked my hair, I liked my makeup, I liked how my skin looked, I liked how the highlighter looked. That was just a really good photo shoot. I mean, I took all the pictures myself, but the pictures just came out so nicely that makes that my favorite blog post. Your joy at Pride is infectious. Thank you. Have you had any unpleasant experiences as a bisexual? So no, not really. I think I come across as straight more often than not, just because I'm married to a man. We've been married for 9 years, so we come across as a heteronormative couple. I mean, he's straight, but I'm not. And so nothing happens there. Like we get seen together and people are just like, oh, a hetero couple kind of thing. But the only thing that really kind of did happen is that when my parents found out that I was bisexual early in my 20s, that wasn't great. In the grand scheme of things, it's nothing like what some people have to deal with. I was definitely not excommunicated from my family or anything like that, but I had a very long, strongly worded email from my dad with a whole bunch of Bible quotes thrown into it, which I'm not religious, so it doesn't really mean anything to me. But he was displeased, and my mom wasn't that happy either. I mean, at the end of the day, I married a man, so my dad is just convinced that that was a phase, and no matter how much I talk about it and try to convince him that bisexuality is not a phase, he just, since I married a man, I'm a straight person to him as far as he's concerned. And I've talked to my mom a little bit more about this to say, like, you know, you can't tell me that I'm not the sexuality that I say I am. But it's not really a topic that comes up much anymore because, as I said, I've married a man, so it's not really like, you know, I'm bringing home a woman at any point. So not really any recent unpleasant experiences, only the thing that sort of happened with my parents, but that's basically like bridge under the water at this point. The next question is, please spell your kitties' names for me. I hate not being able to visualize. So I think most people know how to spell Nemo. That's the boy, he's the older one. N-E-M-O. And the younger one is Kolme, which I believe means 3 in Finnish. It was either Finnish or Norwegian, but I'm pretty sure it's Finnish. And that's because Kolme is my husband's third cat. So Kolme is, I think it's actually pronounced like Golme, but it starts with a K, so it's K-O-L-M-E. So it's just easier to pronounce Kolme. The next question is, where do you get your inspiration from? And I think this is in reference to makeup. So I think most people know how to spell Nemo. That's the boy, he's the older one. And the younger one is Kolme, which I believe means 3 in Finnish. It was either Finnish or Norwegian, but I'm pretty sure it's Finnish. And that's because Kolme is my husband's third cat. So Kolme is, I think it's actually pronounced like Golme, but it starts with a K, so it's K-O-L-M-E. So it's just easier to pronounce Kolme. The next question is, where do you get your inspiration from? And I think this is in reference to makeup. Honestly, I watch a lot of tutorials, and I know tutorials are not very well watched anymore, and they bomb on my channel and they bomb on everybody else's channel, even though they seem to be one of the most requested videos. But I get my inspiration from watching tutorials. I see how other people put color combinations together, and that's really inspiring to me because I do my makeup pretty much the same way every time. I mean, it's different colors, but it's the same placement. And I get inspiration on placement for colors from other people and also different looks. I mean, I gravitate towards the same eye shape on me every single time just because that's what I like on myself, but I can see shapes on other people and sometimes I'll take inspiration points from them. Like for example, the cut crease pride tutorial that I did recently, I only learned how to do a cut crease from Paulina recently. I had no idea really how people did that, and then I watched one of her videos and I was like, wait, that's it? And I was so impressed with it that I basically replicated the style of the cut crease from one of her videos. Ooh, what is your favorite product right now? Probably the lipstick I'm wearing. It's from the Bite Road Trip collection. I'm wearing the Atlanta color and I think it's beautiful. What's on your wish list? Well, I had a few ColourPop items that were on my wish list, but I just recently placed an order, so they're en route to me. It was the yellow 9-pan palette that they just recently put out, the Honey palette, and then the Blue Moon one I hadn't ordered yet. They just put out so much makeup, it's hard to keep up with it, but the Blue Moon is the 9-pan blue monochromatic eyeshadow palette, so I've been wanting that as well because I really just want to complete my collection. Like I want the whole rainbow from ColourPop. Other than that, the Juvia's Place, I think it's the Tribe palette, the green palette with a bunch of like yellow in it. I'm interested in that one. And then there's like a curling iron I want because I use a 1-inch curling iron for my curls, but I want something a little bit larger, so I think I'm gonna be getting a 1.5-inch curling iron soon. Least favorite color to wear on your eyes? Not neutrals. So that's from Sam, and she's a horrible woman for asking me that because neutrals would be my least favorite colors to wear on the eyes because they are inherently boring to me. But if I had to pick another color that is just like my least favorite to wear, it would be like baby pink. Ugh! I like pink when it's neon in its, you know, essence, but any kind of baby pink, soft pink, silvery pink kind of color, I just, oh, absolutely not. If it's in a highlighter kind of thing, then I'm okay with it because they tend to be a little bit more silvery, but any true baby pink, like the Too Faced baby pink color, do not like that. I think that's a horrible color. The next one is product you thought you'd hate but ended up loving, or product you once hated and now like. Ooh, that's hard on the spot. I've mentioned this before and I keep going back to this one because it's one that stands out the most. But the ABH Aurora Glow Kit, I really did not like it when I first got it. I just thought the colors were weird, they weren't that interesting. And then for whatever reason in the last year, I've started to really like that palette. So that's my product I used to hate but now love. The next one's from Twitter and Sparkled Beauty. If you're going to do another Q&A video, can you tell us the history of you and Pride, what you enjoy the most about it? So I don't actually remember how I really got into Pride exactly. I feel like it was just something that happened when I moved to Toronto. I first came here for university and I went to York University. So I lived on campus for a year and then after that I moved downtown. So it was like around roughly the age of 21, I moved into the gay village, which is where I still live. And I just had a lot of friends who were in the community. I played gay soccer and I still play gay soccer. I've been doing that for quite a long time. I think it's 15 years now. And I just sort of moved into the community and I had friends here and they were already celebrating Pride, and it wasn't something that I was ever really aware of because in Ottawa, I don't think it really existed. I mean, it must have, but I just wasn't aware of it at the time. So it's just one of those things my friends were already celebrating and I just sort of got enveloped into the circle of it here in Toronto. And since then, I've just always made a point to, I mean, I'm coming at it from the rainbows and the glitter aesthetic, but Pride started as a riot. And I think it's important to still acknowledge that although we're having fun and we're celebrating Pride now, it didn't start out as a happy time. So what I enjoy the most about it though is definitely the sense of community that you have, especially in the gay village here in Toronto, of just being part of a family during Pride. I mean, everyone is accepted. People love you for just being you, and there's no judgment. Mostly. I have seen a few protesters, but in general, it tends to be a very loving and warm atmosphere. And I mean, I've always felt that way about the Village, but it's an especially strong feeling during Pride. Natalie asks, what's been your favorite city in the world to visit? Oh, that's hard. There's so many good qualities about different cities. I mean, maybe I should just say New York City because it's the one I go back to the most. I go back to New York City pretty much every year. I find there's always something to do there. But I mean, I feel like that's also like a cheap, easy answer because there's so many cities that I've been to that it's something different to offer and it's exciting and unique. So I'll say New York City. All right, and the very last question is on Twitter from Carrie, and they ask, what are the top 3 things that you think everyone needs in their makeup collection? That is hard. So I think everyone needs a mascara. So I'll go with my current favorite, the CoverGirl Clump Crusher. I also feel like winged liner is vital to me, so I feel like it should be vital to other people. So I'll say the Physicians Formula Eye Booster, because it's such a good brush tip pen liner. And then I kind of feel like an eyeshadow palette would be the next vital thing because you can also use eyeshadow as blush and potentially bronzer depending on what palette you're choosing. But telling you what eyeshadow palette would be very difficult because everybody has very different tastes in makeup. But I do really feel like eyeshadow is vital. I mean, I feel lost without an eyeshadow palette, so I feel like that would be my 3rd most vital product. All right, so that is it for the Q&A. Thank you so much if you sent in questions. They were very helpful and it gave me something to chat about. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!